Pocket money. How much? How often? Is it linked to chores? Our views have evolved on pocket money. Today, we will answer as many questions as we possibly can to help you to get the pocket money mix right, because it's one of those perennial parenting problems, and that's what we do. We solve real parenting solutions every day. Welcome to the Happy Families Podcast, Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. I'm Justin. I'm here with Kylie, my wife and mum to our 6 kids. Every Tuesday on the podcast, we answer your tricky questions about family and relationships and well-being and screens and discipline, and the list goes on. If you would like to submit your own tricky question, please jump onto our website, happyfamilies.com.au, click the button that says record and start talking. It's a super simple system. If that doesn't work for you, just send us a voice note. Podcasts at happyfamilies.com.au. Now for today's tricky question.
Hi, Justin and Kylie. It's Elise here. Really simple question for you. I'm just struggling to work out how to do pocket money and whether we should pay for chores or not. Do you have any advice?
Kylie, to start the podcast today, we're going to play a game. It's called Yes and No. Here are the rules. You must answer a whole bunch of questions that I've got for you, and all you're allowed to do is say yes or no. We want to make this easy for any parent who's trying to work out how to deal with the pocket money thing. Are you ready for question number 1?
What if I don't have a yes or a no?
That wasn't a yes or a no. I just asked you a question. Are you ready? And
yes.
You've already blown it. Here we go. Okay, question number 1. Should pocket money be a right rather than something earned through chores?
I don't like your wording. I can't answer.
Yes or no? Should pocket money be a right rather than something earned through chores?
Sure, yes.
Yes, so pocket money's a right.
Yes.
You don't earn it through chores?
No.
Okay. Would you, I love how hard this is. That was the easy question. Would you continue giving pocket money if our children were not keeping their room tidy?
Yes.
Oh, through gritted teeth. Would you give our child double pocket money if they got straight A's?
No.
Should we? You sound annoyed. Should we give?
I feel like I'm in an exam. You're stressing me out.
Should we increase pocket money automatically each year on our children's birthdays?
No.
Would you? I thought we were on the same page. You've just gone from where I was going to. I think okay. Would you stop pocket money as a punishment for bad behaviour?
No.
And the last one, should we require our kids to save a percentage of their pocket money as savings?
Yes.
All right, now I've got a couple of fun ones before we dive into the details. Have you ever borrowed money from one of our children's piggy banks?
Oh, maybe back in the early days. Yes, I may have.
How bad is that? Have you ever pretended not to have change just to avoid paying the kids' pocket money?
No.
Have you?
It was one of my favourite things to do, to sit down on a Sunday night with the kids and pull out the money tin.
Have you ever found pocket money in the washing machine and kept it?
I don't know if it was pocket money, but I keep everything that I find in the washing machine.
Have you ever blamed me when you forgot to give the kids pocket money?
Oh, yeah,
all
definitely.
the time. Oh, my goodness. All right, today we answer the big questions, the tricky questions, the sticky questions around pocket money. Let's unpack a couple of these. First off, should pocket money be a right rather than something earned through chores? You said pocket money should be independent of chores. You just get pocket money, full stop, end of story. Let's unpack that.
Well, the only reason I stumbled on that one was because I don't believe it's a right that our children get pocket money. I actually think it's a privilege.
Yes. So if you're in a privileged position where you can afford to pay the kids pocket money, you should do it and not link it to them completing stuff in the house.
That's exactly right.
All right. Let's explain why. We've talked about this. I mean, you and I have been raising kids for 25 plus years now. Why did we land there? Because it's very different to what a lot of well-known experts, including Scott Pape, Barefoot Investor, would say.
Being part of a team, or in this case, part of a family, requires a team effort for things to function and flow properly. It's actually a privilege to be a part of that team, to be a part of that family, and things function when everybody plays a part. Everybody takes a part and everybody takes responsibility for how things function.
That means that they bring their washing into the room. It means they help with the dishes. It means that they're involved in assisting in the house, because that's what you do as part of a family. But if that's the case, what's the purpose of the pocket money?
Pocket money is about teaching our children financial literacy.
Great. So this is something that we're going to discuss further in a moment. But chores are what you do because you're part of the family. Receiving cash from the parents is about teaching you about money and how it works. They're different things. I know some people will say, well, money works as in you get it for doing stuff. But in this case, we're going to make the argument alternatively. Our first pocket money rule is that money comes independent of responsibilities. The second one was that we would continue giving pocket money if our child wasn't keeping their room tidy, which links directly with what we've just talked about. If your child's not keeping their room tidy, threatening them with no more pocket money is not going to suddenly motivate better behaviour in terms of room tidying.
Well, it just becomes a bribe. It becomes a carrot. It becomes a punishment or a reward for being part of the family. Yet again, it actually is counterproductive to what we're actually trying to achieve.
And you know what happens as well is you start to get on the case of the kids and say, well, you're just not going to get any pocket money. And the kids have a bit of a rant and rave. They get upset because they need money, but then they don't get the money. And you know what they do? They start whinging because I want money. And then you try to say, well, if you kept your room tidy, and it just leads to meltdowns. And they become less motivated, not more motivated to tidy the room. Moreover, and I think this is probably the more important thing, research shows that when you pay somebody for doing something, their motivation for doing it increases while they're being paid. But once you take away the carrot of the coins, once you take away the pocket money, once you take away the incentive, their motivation drops below where it had previously been.
But also, over a period of time, whatever the dollar amount is that you've placed value on that job, it no longer ceases to be enticing. So if I'm giving kids $5 to clean the car, after a while they'll go, you know what? I actually value the half an hour that it takes me to clean more than I value the $5.
I think sitting on the couch is more fun than cleaning the car for $5.
And that's why when you get frustrated, your kids, they're staring at the TV and they don't want to do the jobs you've asked them, even though it has a money value to it, the currency no longer is enough to get them out the door.
We both agreed that we would not pay our children to get A's. This is a contentious one. So many parents pay their kids a bonus if they get A's on their report card, A's in their exams. We don't do this. And the central reason is that we want our children to learn because learning is great. And apart from that, there's a stick in the carrot. That is, if you don't get the A, you actually feel like you've been punished.
Yeah.
It's true that you can have some valuable conversations with the kids and they can maybe become more motivated to get the cash. But I don't want my kids to be learning because it's about dollars. I want them to be learning because learning is great. We disagreed on whether or not we should increase pocket money automatically each year on the birthday.
The reason I say no, because it's not an automatic. We would sit down with our kids each year and have a conversation with them.
You're saying it's not automatic, but they always went up on their birthdays.
No, they did, but it wasn't automatic because we talked to them about it. And we discussed with them what they thought was a fair increase for them. So it wasn't an automatic decision and wasn't arbitrary on our end. There actually was some pretty heavy-duty negotiations going on in those conversations.
High stakes, bidding for sheep farms. The last one that we did both agree on, should we require our kids to save a percentage of their pocket money? We have 3 S's that explain what we encourage our kids to do with their pocket money.
Spend, save, and support.
So spend is obviously have fun with this, kids. Like fill your boots, do whatever you want. Save.
We're saving for the future.
Yep. It might be a car. It might be we're going to the Ekka or the Royal Show or whatever it is that you call it in your hometown or city. Or we're going on a holiday as a family later in the year and you're going to want spending money because we're on the Gold Coast and you can go to the theme parks. And then support is...
Pick a charity. Help them to recognise that there are other people who are less fortunate than themselves and that they can give a small portion of what they're receiving to bless and benefit others.
Yeah, so we normally encourage 10% for charity and support, and we pretty much would look at about 50% for savings, especially for younger kids because their expenses are so low, and that would leave them with around about 40% that they can save a little bit for something like a book or a toy that matters to them, but also that they can fritter away on the things that they want, like some lollies down at the local shop or something like that.
So because we chose such a high percentage for savings, 50%, that's huge as far as a kid's concerned, that actually impacted the amount that we were giving them to start with. So we almost doubled what they would normally get in order to save that percentage.
Yeah, we really wanted them to learn the excitement that comes from seeing your bank balance go up.
Yeah, kind of like a salary sacrifice kind of concept that they were learning, as 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds.
Something else that we did, and I'll just mention it quickly because we're out of time, we would set a goal with the kids. So we'd say, this is how much you could set aside and this is how much you'll end up with at the end of the month. But if you set aside a little bit extra, you could end up at this amount. And guess what? If you can reach that, then we will bonus you. We'll give you that amount as well. So let's say it was $15 extra. By saving really hard, we'd match that bonus $15. We wouldn't give them the whole lot, but we'd match the $15. Kind of sent us broke, but it was really exciting. The kids loved the progress. Okay, we've changed the way we do pocket money these days. After the break, we're going to tell you how. Today, we're talking about pocket money and, well, things have changed. With 6 kids across now 25 plus years, we used to be really, really big on how we did pocket money, and all of the things that we've shared with you just now explain that. But we do things differently with our last couple of kids who are still young enough to receive pocket money. Let's walk you through that fairly quickly.
So previously, we would sit down with them once a week with their own pocket money budgeting book.
Yeah, every Sunday morning or Sunday night.
And they would have the 3 categories listed and what the breakdown was, as you would in a normal household budget. They would then have a graph that would actually show that they could mark off for every $1 they saved, or every $2, depending on their age group and
so they're
how
watching,
much.
Literally watching their progress.
Yeah, so they could actually
excited by
see it.
Yeah.
And then the other reason that the stretch goal was so important was because sometimes they had no need to spend their money, but then it would sit there and it would pile up, and then they'd go to the shops and they'd just fritter it away because they had it. And so we brought in the stretch goal because it was like, well, you've got all this money left over. Let's add this to the bank account because that's going to get you to your goal quicker. So on top of the monthly stretch goal, there was a yearly stretch goal. It's really important to break it down and have really small, achievable
very
goals.
Complicated sometimes.
I don't think it was complicated. I think they really got excited.
They did.
And our big girls specifically have got beautiful bank accounts as a result. That, let's just be really clear, they were not allowed to touch and are not allowed to touch until they finish high school.
Yeah. So we've gotten kind of lazy. We don't do this at all with our younger kids. I wish we did. We probably need to start it again, especially with Emily, because she's still only 10 and there's a few years of that. The other kids are big enough that they can go and get a job if they choose to. And so that becomes their issue. Another thing, we don't pay the kids any extra pocket money once they get to 15. It stays on a really small amount. So if they want extra cash, they either go get a job, or if it doesn't fit with their other goals and aspirations, we give them extra work around the house. The kind of stuff where if I don't want to do it, I've probably got to pay someone to do it. Or if you don't want to do it, we'd have to pay someone. So the mowing of the lawn or even the washing of the cars, that's stuff that wouldn't fall under normal family responsibilities for the kids. So we do pay them a little bonus for that, and that's how they can earn some extra cash. Last thing that I want to highlight is the importance of regular money conversations. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. In fact, every podcast I've ever listened to says if you want your kids to be financially literate, you've got to talk about finances a lot and help them to find other resources and outlets to learn about money as well. I found this and shared it in our recent Happy Families newsletter.
The number one strategy of the top 100 families in the world.
Yes.
Okay? It's teach your kids to create value first, not money. Because money is a store of value. You have to go back to first principles. If you focus on value creation, material value, what you create and produce in the world, solving problems, financial reward is the reward of that. Emotional value, good friendships, how you think, how you feel. Spiritual value, how you love, how you live. Mindset, lifting you up above your issues to a higher calling, to God, getting out of your ego. And that's spiritual value.
Yes.
So if we can teach our children, hey, we're going to be value hunters in this home, that is the number one greatest asset you could ever give them. It's an unfair advantage for the rest of their life.
So I love this because it highlights that money is just a store of value. And the conversation really should move away from money to how am I adding value in the world? Because the more I add value, the more things will actually come to me. Not that I'm trying to do it transactionally because I want things. I mean, he talks about emotions and that brings better friendships. He talks about spiritual value and how that lifts you to a higher plane and you can serve others and lift others as well. And the financial aspect of it is there. The regular conversations about money probably matter more than anything else we've discussed today in terms of the mechanics of pocket money.
Over the years, our conversations around money, the way we choose to remunerate the children has changed so much. But ultimately, the most important part of everything that we've done is having those conversations with your kids, teaching them what it means to be financially literate, helping them to save for the future and delay gratification and support and help others and add value to the world.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about value and it's about having the conversations. And I love that you threw in delayed gratification. So important. The take-home message is have the conversations regularly. That's more important than anything else. If you'd like to submit a tricky question, please send us a voice note, podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Ruan from Bridge Media. For more information and more resources about making your family happier, visit us at happyfamilies.com.au.